Hi, Jen. It's so nice to have you on the show. How are you doing today?
I'm doing very well. Thank you very much for the opportunity to join you today and share some knowledge with your audience.
Beautiful, beautiful. And thank you also for being here, honoring the invite. It means a whole lot. And you mentioned a very important word, knowledge. That's one of the reasons why I'm excited to have you on the show, Jen, because I am a knowledge seeker. And the reason I became a knowledge seeker was because I discovered that um, light, in a broader definition, it means knowledge, while ignorance, in another broader sense, definition, it means darkness. And I decided that I would never stay in the dark. So, I've been so keen to seeking knowledge. Okay, the second reason why I'm excited to have you on the show is for the sake of my audience now. I believe there are some things that John knows that some of my audience needs to hear you say these stuffs, directly from your mouth in order for them to experience transformation. I firmly believe that. And lastly, that is me. You know, I am convinced that there are some things I would learn from your story, your insight, and your experiences. So for that reason, John, I want you to view me now, okay, and my listeners by the time they will listen to our conversation as your student. And you are a teacher now. We want to learn from you. Okay. So for that reason, John, let's get started with your introduction, and your journey, how the journey has been so far, how you got here. And afterwards, I've gotten some beautiful questions for you. Okay, John, over to you.
Okay, well, I have been someone that's been very passionate about knowledge since I was very young. And when I graduated college, got my engineering degree, I had decided that even though I learned a lot about engineering, I didn't learn how people work. I didn't learn the language of people. So I went back, got a degree from the American Psychology Institute of America, clinical hypnosis and psychology. And then I also studied neurolinguistic programming and the Silva method 5 times because I believe that the language that, I needed to learn was one that college was not going to teach me and one that I needed to go seek out on my own. And so that's why I did that. And I tell people every day with my podcast, which I have all the time, is that I live for only two reasons. Two reasons. And that is one, to become a better version of myself, and two, to help others become better versions of themselves. And people say to me, John, that's selfish. I said, well, no, it's not. Because you see, if I can't help myself first, I can't help you. So I have to first be able to seek the knowledge and learn it. Then I can disseminate the knowledge.
Bravo. Well said. That's a smart one. I had a conversation earlier, and what you just said now was what I was saying with the guest too, that in order to help other people, you need to realize that you need to help yourself first. And one of the ways you can help yourself is
We may
by
be having some audio
seeking.
issues because I'm not hearing you all the way there. You're cutting in and out on me.
Okay, I think that's the internet now. The internet connection is kind of bad. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay. So I said that in order to help other people, you first need to understand that or realize that you need to help yourself first. You know, Someone will say, I struggle to love others. That's a proof that you don't love yourself because something that you don't have, you can't give. It's not possible. So I got your point. That's a good one. So
You
shall
have
we
to
get started
like
with the
yourself. You
questions?
have to love yourself before you can like and
Yeah,
love others.
that's
If
right.
you don't like and love others, then we first need to look at, well, you need to love your like yourself. And I see this with so many people like, well, this isn't right, this isn't right. And it may not be perfect, but you still have to love and be grateful for what you have so you can appreciate others. Otherwise, you're always going to be putting people down in this world.
That's right. Very, very, very true. I got that. And you also mentioned that You're living for just two reasons. You want to improve yourself, become a better version of yourself, and also help other people become a better version of themselves. And that's actually great,
Correct.
because that should be the reason for everyone's living. Because we've got talent, we've got gift, and we are to serve other people this talent. And the talent and the gift that we've got now, I believe there are to provide solutions to problems that people might be of need of. So I got you there too. I got that. So shall we get started with the questions, John?
Sure. Um,
Okay. You want to add to it?
sure, whatever you'd like to ask me. I was just going to say
Okay.
that, when the show, or whether it's a show or whether it's a business or your life is not your life. And your business is not your business. Your podcast is not
Mm,
your podcast. It actually belongs to somebody else. It belongs to God. So
mm.
everything we do here on this earth, we do for the grace and glory of God.
Oh man, oh man. Amazing. You know, getting to getting to come across someone who have this understanding, it's actually very, very exciting. I dare you. Oops. The network again. Can you hear me? Oh
I'm
man,
actually
what's
I'm
the
not hearing
network?
it, but I'm seeing the transcript because everything's transcripted. So I am able
Okay.
to read the transcript back. I'm
Okay,
glad that makes
okay.
you
Thank God
happy.
for
I
that.
know that's a unique quality.
I tell you, I tell you, I tell you, it's amazing. That's a good understanding you have there. Nothing, I believe God is full of so much ideas. He's got many ideas, and He created us all to come fulfill His ideas. So either it's business or whatever sectors it is that we're in, it doesn't belong to us, it belongs to Him. And it is given to us for two reasons, just like you mentioned. Number one, which is to glorify Him and also beautify the earth. So I got your point there. I like this. Okay, so let's
Do
get
you
started with the
remember?
question.
Do you ever remember the
Okay,
movie?
okay,
There was a movie out. It
okay.
came out by Alex Kendrick several years ago. It was called
Mm,
Facing the Giants. Did you ever see that movie?
nope. Maybe I'll go check it afterwards.
So, Facing the Giants was a movie. It was actually made by a church in production with Sony Pictures. And Kendrick, one of
Okay,
the head people there, he produced a movie that was called Facing the Giants. They produced a lot of other movies. And this person that was running the football team was the head coach of the football team for, they called them the Shiloh Indians at this Christian school. And the fathers were getting very upset because the Shiloh Indians were not winning, they were losing. And the one person's name, Grant Taylor, which is who he plays in the movie. And his assistant coach says to him, Grant, what are you talking about? Because all of a sudden, when he heard they were trying to get rid of him, he went home and he prayed to God. And he's like, God, he says, if they want to replace me, go ahead, so replace me. It's not my will to be here, it's your will. So if you don't want me to be here, God, then lift me up and plant me and place me somewhere else. That be your choosing, and I'll go. And so he prayed, and the next day he went to do the practice with the boys, and he started asking the boys. He says, why do you play football? To get trophies. No, that's not why you play football. Why do you play football? So we can get a lot of fame and honor. No, that's not why you play football. Why do you play football? So we have stories to tell our kids and family. Nope, that's not why you play football. Huh? Where are you going with this? Why do you play football? Because it's fun. That's not why you play football. Coach, I don't know where you're going with this. And then his other coach is like, what are you driving at here? What are you driving at, Grant? I believe that the only reason we're here to play football is just the reason we're here for everything else in life. And that is for the grace and glory of God. And so you're here to play football on this field to praise and honor God. And if we win, we praise Him. If we lose, we praise Him. Starting today, we're going to pray before every single game. And you know what happened? In just a few games, they started winning and winning and winning and winning and winning and winning and championships and all these
ooh,
things.
amazing.
At the very end of the story, They were about
Yeah.
to reach the championships, and they lost. Okay, the game that was going to put them into the finals. Well, he was back at the locker room, and he was cleaning up with some of the other people and the boys, and somebody said to me, Grant, there's a message for you. I took it and I left it on your desk. A message from who? I don't know, some guy from the league. He said, Everett, you should give him a call. Okay, I'll go give him a call. So he goes and he gives me a call. As he goes back, he goes, you know what? So a little later, he says, I work for a greater God, a God that opens doors that no man can shut. Today was proof of that. Now, we played against the such and such, whatever it was, and they beat us. But they didn't beat us fairly. And God made sure that came to fruition when he found out that they didn't beat us fairly. Two of the boys were under, whether it was 18, whatever, under the age limit. And they were playing under the age limit. And therefore, that game was disqualified. And we are now going to the playoffs.
Ooh.
I lost you there for a minute. So we were going to the playoffs. And then when he went to the playoffs, it was
Yeah.
funny because he was in the locker room, and all the people that had passed in his life, previous coaches and whatnot, they came down to see him in the locker room before the game. And it was so surreal for him. They won the championship. Another challenge was his wife was trying to have a baby, and she couldn't. And they prayed and prayed about it. And that night, she came back, she says, after he won the game, which he was so happy that he won the game. I mean, that was like the best thing that could happen to him. And he's like, Grant Taylor? His wife said, congratulations. You just made the team. I know, hon. We won tonight. No, Grant. You made an even bigger team than football. You just made the daddy team.
Oh my. Whoa. Amazing. Wow.
And that movie was an amazing movie. There's other movies they have too, but they brought a couple other points out that, sometimes when something is going for the greater good of what we think is for others, but it really isn't, it comes back to backfire. Well, before that game, Grant had a truck that kept breaking down. So there was a kid on his team. His name was Matt Prater. It was his name in the movie. And Matt didn't like God. He was against religion. He was against everything. And all of a sudden, he was in his office, and the assistant coach he says, "Do you know what's going on outside?" He's like, I don't know. He's like, you have to see. He goes, teachers are taking their classes outside, and they're proclaiming victory with the Lord. And Matt Prater stood up and declared the Lord as his Savior. And this has been happening. Like, this has been going on for 2 hours. Where have you been? And they played a song. And then just after that, Matt comes up to the coach, and he goes, Coach, I need to talk to my dad. Will you take me to him? He takes him to him, and when he takes him to his dad wasn't really interested in what was going on. But when he went to the office, and he said to the secretary, I want to speak to my dad, and he says he's busy. So when he comes back, he finds out his father takes him in to talk to him, and he goes, his father says, Matt, is everything okay? He says, no, everything's fine. I said, oh, I'm sorry. I know you were in a meeting, Dad. I'll come back. He's like, everything okay? Everything okay, Matt? Yeah. I'm sorry if you're in a meeting. I'm really sorry. He says, I just wanted to say to you that I'm sorry, Dad. I'm sorry. I'm sorry if I haven't respected you. And I just want to tell you that from now on, whatever you say, it's okay. It's the way, and I'm going to follow it. And you're my father, and I apologize, and I am just truly sorry for the way I've treated you. And this other man was in the office next to him, a client, and the father said to the guy, he says, "I'm sorry." He says, "I'm a little sorry." He says, "I'd give my right arm to hear my son say that to me." He goes out to the window to see who brought him here, and it's the coach, Grant Taylor. This is all before they won. Next thing you know, Matt and him are rolling away his truck when they go to the game before the finals. This is when they're starting to win. He rolls away the truck. He brings a brand new truck. His car brings over a truck, and he goes to the sub coach and says, "What happened to my car?" He's like, "I don't think anybody would steal it." He said, I don't think you could pay anybody to take that old heap." He's like, "There's a note on it." "Well, I guess you should open and see what it says." "Grant Taylor, you have been an inspiration in all of our lives. And now we hope that this truck will be a new inspiration in yours. Blessings." And so Matt and his father were watching on in the bushes. And Matt's father says to him, "Not a word to anyone." And Matt says, "Yes, sir." And I just thought that was very interesting how they drove these points. That the main one, that everything we do in the world, even though it's ours, it doesn't belong to us. It's done for the grace and glory of God.
That's right. It's a powerful storyline, and the message is very clear. Remind me the title again. What's the title again? So I have to go watch it after we're done.
The website for it? Yeah, it's this website is at so it's Facing the Giants. But if you go to like YouTube and you type in if you just go to YouTube and you type in Facing the Giants is the name of the thing, and it's actually it's on YouTube, and you can actually get it free with ads. It came out in 2006, and the last thing I'm going to share with you in that same story is they did something just before they were winning called the death crawl. Now, right after he started this whole thing with the Lord and God and everything, and they're all kind of like telling jokes, that they're not going to win, you're going to get lucky this week and all these things. He's like, Matt, this is before when Matt didn't like him. He's like, you think this is funny? You up here. Oh, I'm just no, you up here. So he gets up here. He goes, I was just telling you, I know what you're doing. You're going to come up here and you're going to do the death crawl. What? You're going to do the death crawl. And I want you to do it with Jeremy on your back. Oh, what? You're going to do the death crawl with Jeremy on your back. And I want you, and give me a blindfold. I want you to do it while you're blindfolded. Oh, what? Yeah, come here. So he puts Jeremy on his back, does the death crawl, puts the blindfold on, and they're going through the field, and he just wants him to get to the 50-yard line. He kept pushing him, and he's like, I got to be at the 50. I got to be at the 50. And everybody is so quiet because he's almost at the end zone. And he goes, just a few more feet. You're almost, I can't handle you. Just a few more feet. You're almost at the 50-yard line. And he's like, I can't do it anymore. I've got to be at the 50. He's like, Brock, take off your mask. He's like, you know what? You're in the end zone. He's like, oh my. He's like, whenever you think that you can't go any further, you can. And then the assistant coach said, all right, who's next? Because a lot of times we stop doing stuff when we believe we're not adequate enough. But the truth is we are more adequate and more powerful than we ever dreamed imaginable.
That's right. I got that. You were able to bring out some vital point from the story now. And I believe that the listeners are going to find it helpful, very helpful. Okay. So, to bring this to an end, John, what would you like to leave the audience with, like a final thought? And to those ones who would like to reach out to you, learn more about what you do, maybe some things you've said
Sure.
resonated well with them and they would like to learn more. How can that be possible?
Absolutely. So first, I'll tell you how you can reach out. I produce lots of content in addition to being an engineer and a video producer. I have several podcasts. So one of them, you can get all my casts by going to Believe. That's BELIEVE, me, just like my hat says, believemeachieve.com, because we have to believe ourselves before we can do anything. I have a daily show called Inspirations for Your Life, which I have different topics every week, and we have a whole master thread every week, and we have different granular topics. I have a tech show every Friday called J More Tech Talk. But I would invite people to check out believemeachieve.com, check out all my great content. But I want to leave you guys with this thought. And the thought is this: if we change our words, we're going to change our thoughts. If we change our thoughts, we change our mind. If we truly change our mind, we will, in fact, improve the quality of our life. And that is what all of you guys want as listeners and viewers tonight, isn't it? Or today?
Right. That's a powerful ending, because even God cannot transform us until we change our minds. He renews us now. He transforms us by the renewal of our minds. So I got that. That was a powerful ending. I love that. Okay, so that's going to be the end of the show, John. Thank you for coming and thank you for, sharing that inspiring and helpful story and your insight. It means a whole lot, man. Thank you.
It was a privilege, a pleasure, an honor to be with you today, Alicia, and I hope that people will listen to what I call these nuggets and make the choice. I can lead you to all the water in the world, but I cannot, will not, and don't want to make you drink it. So you have to make a choice in your life to be better than you already are.
That's right. Thank you so much, man.